Cold there.
Jess from Sky, do you want to kick us off, please?
Yes, definitely. Good evening, David. You okay?
Hi, Jess.
Let's start with that goal, shall we? My goodness, how surprised were you to see that fly into the back of the net?
I might surprise you by saying I wasn't that surprised, because Seb's got an incredible ability to sort of get his foot up really high, and he's got a really good technique when he does it. He scored a couple of goals. I think one of the first goals I got when I came here in the opening game, he scored a bit of a scissor kick. So he's got the ability to do that. It's the tap-ins I want him to score as well, not just the great goals.
Yeah, of course. In his post-match interview, he said, "Oh, finally." Do you think this goal now might help his confidence a bit?
Well, I think that we need him to be a big part. You know, we're missing Mickey Antonio at the moment, and so we're needing somebody to come up with the goods. And it looked for long periods tonight we were huffing and puffing and not really going to get anything. But we got a wonder goal from him. We really did.
What's been the difference, do you think, this season? The fact that he's already matched the goals that he scored last season at this point already. What's clicked? What's improved in him?
Well, I think Seb's been trying to settle. I think when you come into the Premier League, it's not that easy to settle. I think it takes time, and sometimes the expectations are too big. You know, we expect a lot from him as well, and you know, we want his goals in the Premier League. We don't want them just in the cup games, Jess. We want to make sure that his goals are ones which help. We want the cup as well, but we prefer the Premier League if possible.
Of course. Just one final question from me, David. It's about the 5 subs being reinstated. There's a vote tomorrow. I just wondered where you stood on that and whether your mind had changed at all.
Well, I think people know what I've said is yes, I did change my views on it for reasons of player welfare. But I think the club feel that it'll probably be better if the rules stay the same, because if we change halfway through, then who knows what other rules might have to change. So, you know, the club will do that. But I've given my view and how I see it going.
Thanks, Jess. Jack Rosser.
Evening, David.
Hi there.
They stepped up a bit after the break and obviously got level again. But do you think the first half there was a sign of a bit of tiredness out there? You know,
Yeah.
Declan and Thomas maybe not quite as intense as usual.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the game felt flat. You know, they felt as if there was very little intensity. And I think that, I wouldn't say it was from both teams, but I can only talk about my own team, but we just didn't feel as if we ever got to any level of any intensity or how we've been playing. We had moments we thought it was going to, maybe we were about to kick it off. We had moments where we had the ball, but in truth, we didn't create very little. We had some very good crossing from Vladimir. But apart from that, I didn't think we really sort of found a way to get through and find any other way to try and score a goal.
What do you put that lack of intensity down to?
Well, I think we've had actually quite a difficult, since we won at Leeds, you know, we weren't able to fly back. The fog was there. We bust it back. It was after 3 o'clock in the morning when we get back. We've trained. We actually picked up a couple of injuries, small injuries in training. We had a few niggles even tonight. Aaron Creswell had one. Jared Bowen twisted his ankle in a warm-up. Didn't train. So in a way, we just were a little bit putting things together, which we hadn't had. I sort of alluded to that yesterday in my press conference, that we had a few niggles behind the scenes, Fabi as well. So it just meant that we were just not quite at the races tonight.
Just finally, what is the problem with Fabian and how long do you expect him to be out for?
I don't think Fabian's bad. I think it's just he's just nicked his groin very slightly. He felt it when he went to pass a ball. Could we have taken a risk with him? Possibly. But we felt that with the games and the situation things coming up, we didn't think we should do that.
Thanks, Jack. Sam, something so?
Evening, David.
Sam, how you doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad at all. You just briefly mentioned him there, Vladimir Soufal. He did a real number on Wilfred Zaha tonight. Just how impressed have you been with how he's settled in to the Premier League? 'Cause he's been outstanding in the last couple of games, especially.
I thought he was our best player tonight. I thought he played really well. Obviously, he's getting an assist as well. But I think more importantly, he knew he had a really tough job against a really good player in Will Zaha, and I thought he'd done it well. You know, we knew how good they are down the left hand side and the problems they cause. But I've got to say, Vladimir, I thought, played very well. And he put in the ball for the goal, but he also put in another 2 or 3 all night of very good crosses.
And just quickly, is Aaron Cresswell okay after he seemed to roll his ankle there in the earlier on?
Well, he was another one. He missed a few days because he had a groin and hip problem, which he came back from Leeds with as well. And then he went over his ankle. So I actually thought the worst at the time. I thought he was coming off, but thankfully and good on him that he stuck at it.
Thanks, Sam. Jacob?
Hi, David. Manuel Lanzini was a big player for you during the first time you were here at West Ham. He's had a bit of trouble with injuries since then. He's come on tonight, though, and made a big impact, I think, after half-time. What did you make of it?
Yeah. You said Manuel Lanzini there, didn't you, Jacob? Yeah. I thought Manu made a big difference for us. I thought Manu came on and controlled the ball, nurtured the ball, gave us something slightly different. And actually, it's what I want from the players who've sort of been out. I want them to come on and make a difference in the game. I want people to come in and be important and play their part. I thought Manu was important to us tonight and played a really important part. He's been a bit unlucky not to have maybe been involved and started in games, but the form of the team has made it very difficult. But overall, he's not somebody I've given up on. He's somebody who I really hope we can get back to the levels he was at when we were first here, because he was a great player for us. He could make goals and score goals. Maybe his injuries affected him a little bit, but we need to try and find how we get the best out of him in other ways then.
Any other raised hands?